Yes, it's incredibly brave. I think it's very brave what they're doing, trying to film everything according to Victorian filming techniques. And when I say brave, I don't mean brave as in someone wearing some, loud trousers or odd socks or putting parquet flooring in their bungalow. Not that kind of brave. But brave like, well, not exactly fireman brave, but brave like a competent swimmer trying to rescue quite a big cat from a still pond. That level of brave. So it just shows their commitment to what some people may or may not think is an incredibly stupid idea. And I think there should be more of that. It's not going to work.
First of all, and most importantly, it's about authenticity. This is a Victorian show, and so we wanted to use real Victorian techniques. We're using steam-powered cameras. The lights are basically massive candles, and whereas a lot of modern shows would give their crew jackets, we've given our crew rickets. But the most important thing was the actors. We had them very carefully trained up in Victorian acting techniques.
It starts with a perk, really, because I'm brought to work in a horse and carriage, which is great. We've never gone to work in a horse and carriage before, but there are also downsides to the way we're doing it in traditional Victorian ways, because I'm not allowed to vote for the duration of the shoot, for example.
The thing that I found most difficult have been the morning prayers before each shot. Each day's filming, if day's filming is hard, you usually start early. You usually get to pick out at about 6 in the morning, but we've had before in the morning, because morning prayers every morning is an hour and a half, led by Mark Evans, the writer, in fact.
The thing is that a modern 21st century actor would find it almost impossible to say the kind of dialogue I'm writing, set as it is in the 19th century. Most drama school training these days consists of being made to look grim so you can get a part in EastEnders, or being trained how to look dead and be found by Trevor Eve. But there's a tale of a young actor, very good, done a lot of modern drama, and he was cast in Lark Rise to Candleford, and first day he had to say, "Why, Miss Pibblesham, I'll wager you a florin those crinolines were never on the stagecoach in the first place." And he just couldn't do it, physically couldn't do it. He broke down and cried halfway through the line, and he's never worked since, apart from EastEnders, where he sits in the back crying and just sort of blends into the grim background. So the important thing was we had to get the modern-day actors to learn Victorian techniques. So we researched Victorian acting and we discovered some quite surprising things.
The first real surprise was that in the early days of Victorian television, human actors weren't used at all. And to be fair, nor were televisions. The programmes were viewed by thousands of people watching giant mechanical actors performing on hills. The most famous of these was the very first series of Casualty, which was directed by Isambard Kingdom Brunel and performed in front of the whole of Bristol by 40-foot-high wooden actors on top of the Mendips. Of course, something was bound to go wrong, and it did. First of all, being wooden, their performances were very wooden. And then these mechanical thespians became self-aware and ran amok trying to destroy their creators.
Always look out!
Yes, I've heard about the great robot actor wars because, Mark and Gareth told me all about them, and I've chosen to believe them.
After the robot actor wars were over, the Victorians reverted to using human actors, as we have continued to do to this very day, apart from some programmes, obviously. I'm not mentioning any names. Hollyoaks. No, that was too obvious. It's not really Hollyoaks, no, but EastEnders. No. But I will just say this. This is the one bit of gossip I'm getting. Steve McFadden, robot.
We've tried to make the actors perform in a Victorian style by surrounding them with Victorian conditions. So, things like modern filming luxuries, such as chairs and tables, places for them to sit down, dressing rooms, that's all gone. And instead, we've kept some of the lower status, to be frank, actors in a kind of rough lean-to, which we've built in a railway arch.
Not being one of the main characters, obviously, I don't enjoy the same sort of dressing room as they do. Lunch was good. Can't say fairer than that, really. Glad of the work.
Yeah, so we're doing everything in a Victorian way, so sort of rigid hierarchy and social structures. I'm pretty much top of the tree, so I get people to do stuff, not sex stuff, but you know, just normal stuff. And luckily, I'm a very level-headed kind of guy, so I wouldn't let that go to my head or anything. Where are my biscuits? I asked you 5 minutes ago. But generally, it's working out really well. I even have people to learn my lines for me, which is handy. I think they're going to give me an urchin.
It's very harsh, you know. Various beatings, daily beatings, by my tutor, Dr. Thrasher, and people like that.
Morning, Amber. You are late again. Why?
My mother lost the keys to my cage, sir.
Fine. Remember, next time you have to answer me in Latin. Now hurry to the studio. There are a couple of chimneys need cleaning first. Workhouse. We'll have to send us to the workhouse.
Well, I do quite well out of it, actually. I'm encouraged to drink port at breakfast. I have roast goose about 6 times a day at regular intervals before takes. But when they asked me to have a saucy liaison with a scullery maid, I drew the line for a day or so.
At first it was quite interesting. We had gruel, and then the second day we had gruel, and then the third, fourth and fifth day we had something they called gruel surprise, which is basically just gruel, but less of it.
The Victorian hierarchies, the class system, if you like, and the way that the women and the lower orders are treated is quite a shock, because you realise how far we've come. Though probably I've come further less than others. Seems to come more naturally to me to say, out of my way, woman, than it does to others who, I mean, I try to be polite. I often say, please, out of my way, woman. And they bow and they gasp and they blush. You can't really meet the eyes of women on this set, because men don't really look at women as being the same species.
Well, I have no right at all. I'm shushed when I speak, and you know, I'm all for trying to do this in an authentic way, but I'm sensing it's just an excuse to tell me to shut up.
Well, I think, if anything, that I've learned from all the Victorian acting, it's the sovereign importance of these. Because I don't think I can really do it anymore without these. So, Series 8 Peep Show, these, all my other work, all my other jobs. Yes, all my other jobs, these as well.
Well, I'm certainly going to keep the port for breakfast because I'm now an alcoholic and addicted to it. So that's necessary. So I enjoy that. It stops me shaking. Other than that, I think I'm happy in the modern world. But I will be petitioning Parliament to recolonise India.
I did notice some blood in the handkerchief earlier on, but I don't think it's anything too much to worry about.
I've been having a terrible time, and I don't think it's worth doing just so that I can be bullied. I'm treated like when I'm dressed like a prostitute, I'm treated like a prostitute.
The best thing is... I don't think there is a best thing.
Well, I've been delighted with the cast's commitment to Victorian acting techniques. They've really thrown themselves in, and I think the whole thing looks very, very authentic. Many of them gave themselves malnutrition in the course of their research, and Robert Webb became addicted to laudanum, which I think I think that's extraordinary commitment. I'm just so proud to have worked with someone with that much commitment. And I think, as the Victorians themselves would have said, well televisioned, sir, well televisioned indeed. They said that. They really did.